The first week of Diddy ended with another intense and revealing day. There was a death threat in a leaked audio, an alleged blackmail incident mid-flight, shocking text messages, and even a former bandmate testifying about violent abuse. This is day 5 of the trial, and it's not looking good for Diddy. The courtroom focused again on the defense's interrogation of Cassie. The defense continued its strategy of showing past messages, including one from March 10, 2016, 5 days after a violent incident in a Los Angeles hotel. In the message, Cassie said, "When you go crazy the wrong way, you always want to show your power by beating me. I'm not your rag doll. I'm someone's daughter." Diddy responded, "I've felt that way since Friday. What are you doing?" She replied, "It's not a good vibe. We need a different vibe from Friday," to which Diddy said, "Fuck Friday? I don't want to do that again." The defense chose to show this conversation primarily to emphasize that Cassie ended it with, "I love you." The idea was to imply she had affection for him. But in doing so, they exposed his admission of violence and her direct statement of being abused. Curiously, the defense tried to frame this as a positive, but the earlier parts of the message thread clearly demonstrated a pattern of physical dominance and emotional abuse. Cassie accused him of trying to assert power through violence, and his lack of remorse was evident. The defense strategy, however, was to use the "I love you" line as evidence of her supposed emotional attachment, which backfired by further exposing his behavior. Next, Diddy's lawyer, Ana Estevan, confronted Cassie about an incident where Diddy had taken her phone, suspecting she had cheated on him with an NFL player. Cassie confirmed she had indeed been involved with a football player, but declined to name him or say whether he was still active. The defense attempted to equate infidelity with physical abuse, a comparison that clearly falls apart under any scrutiny. They also brought up Chris Bell, another man Diddy was reportedly jealous of, suggesting that Diddy acted violently after, thinking Cassie had danced with Chris. Cassie denied dancing with him and reiterated that whenever she had been in another relationship, she always admitted it. But she never had one with Chris. This suggested that Diddy's reaction was based on paranoia, not fact. The defense appeared to be shifting their argument, from trying to disprove the accusations of sexual trafficking to admitting Diddy's behavior was violent, but outside the context of that specific crime. In other words, they wanted to paint him as abusive in relationships, not guilty of sex crimes. Then came a new name, Jonathan Odd. He's a former adult film producer and alleged escort who has been in prison since 2018 after trespassing on a Trump golf course. While in custody, he told police that he was Diddy's sexual slave, a claim many dismissed at the time as delusional. Jonathan said, "I had sex with Cassie and Sean Combs, and he would masturbate while telling me what to do with her." He had signed an NDA with Diddy in 2014, reportedly worth $5 million, and that document was later leaked by the Daily Mail. In court, Ana Estevan asked Cassie about Jonathan, especially an incident in 2013 when she suspected he had recorded an encounter between them. The defense played an audio of Cassie threatening a DJ who allegedly had that video. In the audio, Cassie says, "If you have it, show me or I'll kill you, and he'll kill you again." Referring to Diddy, she adds, "If you don't show it to me, I'll cut you into pieces." Cassie admitted it was her voice on the tape and said she didn't trust Jonathan Odd. The defense used the audio to try to suggest that Cassie had a violent side and could manipulate others by using Diddy's influence. The pattern became clear. A long, traumatic, toxic relationship where the boundaries of consent, loyalty, fear, and survival all blurred. The defense asked whether Cassie maintained contact with Diddy after they broke up, even while she was dating her current husband, Alex Fine. She said yes. In fact, the last time she had sex with Diddy was September 27, 2018, after he had allegedly raped her. Diddy later told her he would back off, but that she could still call him if needed. She responded, "I'm lost without you." The defense used this to argue emotional attachment and dependency. She later married Alex in 2019, but messages continued between her and Diddy. In one, Diddy called her one of the best women in the world. She admitted the message moved her. In another, she told him, "I wouldn't be in this beautiful moment of my life without you," reinforcing the complicated emotional trauma she carried. Then came the courtroom's most stunning moment. When asked by Ana whether she still loved Diddy, even after he allegedly forced her into sex, Cassie responded, I love the past and who he used to be." The courtroom was stunned. How could someone speak of love for their abuser? She explained that Diddy was not in his right mind, that it wasn't really him during the violent episodes. When asked whether he might be bipolar, she said yes. The defense clung to that, attempting to build a late psychological defense, despite the judge already rejecting a bipolarity argument due to its late filing just 1 week before trial. Further their case, the defense presented a 2012 message where Diddy asked Cassie if she wanted to freak off one last time, and she replied, "I want to freak off for the first time for the rest of our lives." The exchange seemed confused, suggesting deeper psychological entanglements and instability more than anything else. After the cross-examination ended, the prosecution resumed their questions. Cassie said Diddy once used a video to blackmail her into a sexual act. She described a flight where Diddy had booked a seat next to hers without her knowing. He surprised her on the plane and showed her a private video saying, "If you don't want me to release this, you'll have to join a freak-off when we land in New York." That moment, according to prosecutors, is a rare instance they can prove, using flight records and booking history, that coercion happened. When asked whether Diddy physically assaulted her during freak-offs, she cried. She said yes. She said she felt worthless, like trash, like nothing. And she kept crying. Her 4-day testimony ended with tears and exhaustion. Later, her lawyer read a written statement outside the courtroom. "I hope my testimony gave strength and voice to other survivors and helps others who suffered come forward and heal. The more I heal, the more I remember. And the more I remember, the more I'll never forget." Her husband, Alex Fine, also released a statement. "I felt so many things sitting there. Overwhelming pride, deep rage, watching the woman I love sit across from the man who tried to destroy her." Cassie, heavily pregnant and emotionally raw, had to relive every scar in front of the world. The next testimony began immediately after, from Dawn Richard, a former member of Danity Kane, the band created by Diddy on MTV back in 2005. Dawn testified that she witnessed Diddy physically assault Cassie, including an incident in 2009 where he kicked her to the floor and tried to hit her with a frying pan full of eggs. Dawn said Cassie fell into the fetal position, a trauma response of someone too broken to fight back. She also testified that Diddy later threatened her and another bandmate, saying if they ever talked, they would disappear. With that, the judge called the session to a close, and Dawn's testimony will resume on Monday. Meanwhile, internet users began speculating about the shift in Cassie's tone from earlier days to the last few, suggesting she may have been pressured. Nothing has been proven. But one thing is clear, the reason the jury remains anonymous is because no one can afford to be targeted by someone with power like Diddy. This was Day 5 of the Diddy trial. Day 6 starts today, and we'll be covering it here on the channel. If you want justice to be heard, like this video, subscribe, and help amplify these voices.